Hello, and welcome to a little miniature but special edition of the Hall Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Kieran Brennan. With me, as always, my co-host.
Man, the genetics got rain. And Kieran, do we call this 91 point or 90.5? Are we going to go to, or are we going to use up two parts and get closer to that 100? What do we want to do?
Is it run surely 91 part one and part two, right? That's what this is.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go same with Mania. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Quick disclaimer: me and Kieran have both had probably combined 4 or 5 hours sleep, and all of them went to me.
Yeah, I genuinely haven't slept at all because I was doing schoolwork overnight after Mania. I'm not watching it live tonight. I can't. So,
we're gonna review night 2 tomorrow evening when Kieran gets to watch it. I think, hopefully. But I'm gonna watch it live tonight because I'm gonna watch. I've been watching the golf, so the golf goes as soon as the golf finishes tonight. It's gonna be straight into Mania, so it's pretty easy. What a night! What last a couple of nights it has been. We're going to talk
Mania week.
Yeah, Mania week. Listen, the expectations were tempered, but we'll get into Mania. But they over delivered. I was expecting a 2, and they delivered a 7, and they really did well. But before we get into Mania, we've got the small issue of NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, and before NXT small issue, and before NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver, I just want to talk about how Jon Moxley is the craziest motherfucker in the world and just loves life and loves wrestling.
Bloodsport, right?
Dude, not only Bloodsport. So, Bloodsport went down. I watched it. The setting, Kieran. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm gonna. You'll be able to watch it. I'll send you a link to watch it.
Do.
But yeah, it's in the middle of it's an open air venue. There's like houses around the place. There's like a ring without the ropes. It just looked really aesthetically really cool. The crowd was hot. The matches were fantastic. There was a couple of matches where some really cool submissions and stuff. Leo Rush was on the card. Simon Grimm was on the card. Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson, who's obviously making waves on the indies, they had a very good match. But everyone was talking about the main event, Kieran. 11 minutes, former UFC heavyweight champion Josh Barnett versus Jon Moxley. This was a bloodbath. 5 minutes in, Jon Moxley with elbows to Josh Barnett's head, cuts Josh Barnett open. Moxley then just gets cut open hard. Like he was pouring blood out of his face. You've probably seen the photos, which are really cool.
Yeah.
But the blood was pouring. Like Josh Barnett had blood all over his back at the end. Moxley was like, the finish was Josh Barnett stomping Moxley's head so many times that the referee had to stop the match. And Moxley selling it at the end. Moxley sold it like he didn't know he had lost. He kept trying to think he was still fighting, and the ref at the time, and he kept falling over because the blood loss. Then he cut a promo afterwards, just saying this man has a baby on the way, and a pregnant wife at home, and the man is doing the. And then the very next night was Spring Break. It wasn't Joey Janela's event. It was taken over by Ricky Shane Page because after Ricky Shane Page beat Joey Janela, so it was RS Spring Break, and in the main event. You had Ricky Shane Page, who was a deathmatch specialist, versus Nick Gage. And Kieran, you probably heard the name Nick Gage because he's going to be in the new season of Dark Side of the Ring. One of his episodes is going to be Dark Side of the Ring. MDK all fucking day is his moniker, and he is just a crazy, crazy motherfucker. He was bleeding. There was light tubes in that match, and he won the match. And who came out the night after, the day of the AEW house show? Jon Moxley showed up. And just got in the ring and went ahead, like they were head to head for like a minute without even like talking. And the crowd was going mental. And then Moxley tried to leave and Nick Gage told him to fuck off. And then Moxley came back in the ring and they started fighting. And Moxley took out a lot of light tubes. Basically the paradigm shift through the light tubes. So Moxley's had a fun couple of days, Kieran. This is just so cool to see a guy who just loves wrestling.
Yeah, well, it's fucking Mania week. Loads of shows going on, and I'm glad he's gotten a bit of a spotlight. Because I think AEW is definitely taken a back seat in everyone's minds over the last 5 or so days, but it's nice now Moxley can still fucking make a massive splash.
Yeah, but fair play to them. The house show apparently did very well, and it's a very good idea. They brought in a few cool matches. There was a debut from a guy from Japan called Konsuke Takashita, who's a really, really good wrestler from DDT, which is the second best, maybe. There's a lot of promotions in Japan that are like very, very good. But they so he made his debut. But You know, Moxley was kind of like the highlight. He had an amazing match. I would urge you all to go out your way and watch that match because it was just really, 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 really fun. Old school stuff and just, beating the crap out of each other. But yeah, let's move on to, geez, it feels like ages ago since this happened.
Doesn't it just? It's crazy.
It's TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. So the pre-show, Drake Maverick and Breezango, I didn't watch this, but they defeated Breezango to become the number 1 contenders to the NXT tag titles. Fair enough.
Lovely.
Kieran, what did you make of the ladder match? I'm happy Escobar won, obviously, but in terms of just, I thought it was solid. It wasn't the best ladder match I ever watched, but I think Escobar was the right winner.
Yeah, I think that kind of says my entire thoughts on NXT Stand and Deliver as a whole. Thought it was solid. Thought it was decent. I don't know. I feel like I'm not really going to remember maybe one match of it. We'll talk about that in a bit.
I'm going to put
too much longer.
I'm going to put I'll put 2 matches.
That's fair. Yeah,
I've got 2 matches on my list, and one of them you probably think you know one of them if you're listening to the podcast, but it's not that match. I have a few thoughts on that match. Next up, The Way, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah.
First of all, like Candice LeRae putting out the post on Instagram afterwards, like putting over Indy Hartwell huge and saying she's helped her, like talking about like helping her kind of enjoy wrestling again was kind of cool. And yeah, they had a really, 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 really good match, proving that the women
double eclipse in there. That was really cool. I will say, the stage for this, the giant skull and the sword, is fucking awesome. Looked really cool. I thought that was fantastic stage design. But yeah, sorry, go on. The tank was cool, and Ember Moon had that like weird fox skull wolf thing on her, like a mask. That was cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're always gonna put out and show out for like these big events, and they did. So the double eclipse, Blackheart hit Hartwell with a diving senton to win. It was what we expected. We both predicted this. We both got 100% on night one of them. No, we didn't. We both. I'm not sure. Did we? We both got one.
And I guess is that Bronson Reed would win.
Sorry. We both guessed 100% on night one of Mania. I won this one, I think, because of Bronson Reed, which we'll get on to. Johnny Gargano did. Yeah. So sorry, this is night 2.
This is night. I literally just realized the same thing when I saw that it was Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed.
Whoops.
Go with it. Doesn't matter.
No. We haven't discussed the important match, so we've moved on. We're going back to night 1. Stark beat Storm. That was expected. Zoe Stark has been pushed quite heavily, Karen. If you notice, like not like heavily, but like beating Toni Storm is a big deal. Toni Storm hasn't been on TV,
massive.
But like being, and she's. I don't know if you watched this match on the kickoff, but she's really good.
Yeah, I didn't watch the kickoff for this, unfortunately.
But she's really good. And then the next match was just a thoroughly enjoyable match. Sorry, this is the second time we've got night 1 and night 2, but we're third. So good. But this is officially night 1. Kushida versus Pete Dunne. This was just a lot of fun.
I don't know. I was kind of bored during this. And I didn't think I would be, because I love Pete Dunne, but I was just like, it felt like I think NXT very much is known for those crazy openers, usually tag openers, or at least they were for a while. Maybe not so much anymore. But like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like this was a bit of a weak opener. Maybe I was just expecting too much from it because I haven't really seen too much of Kushida. So maybe I had my expectations a little high.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because you're not really into the technical stuff, and it was a very over technical match, and some people really, 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 really love that. I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't one of my matches of the night, but it was one of them where easy on the eye, really enjoyable. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was kind of expected that Pete would win. They're trying to keep him kind of strong. Snap fingers, bitter end, and he won. Then we had the Gauntlet Eliminator. What did you think of this? Because this could have got very messy. What did you think of the structure of this? There was a few different storylines going on. I'm really happy Bronson Reed won because he deserved it. But
I was surprised he won. I think structure-wise, it was fine. It was good. It was a really solid match throughout. Was it Isaiah Swerve Scott? He opened it right with Leon Ruff.
Yeah, the two rivals. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
They had a really good exchange in the beginning, and they kind of held the match together before everyone kind of came in. Were all 6 people in the ring at one point, or was someone eliminated just before the 6th?
I think. Let me have a look. Uh, Swerve Ruff was eliminated first, and I think
Yeah.
they were on the ring. LA Knight doesn't click with me. I just don't really see. It's just these.
Wade Barrett loves him. Wade Barrett has gone mental for him the whole time.
No, let me say, Wade Barrett on commentary was fantastic. Like Wade Barrett on commentary, especially during a match. I'm going to bring up the tag match later. Wade Barrett was brilliant in that. But yeah, I think the start is. I think Dexter Lumis just gives off that aura of creepiness in the best way possible, or just like eeriness. His mannerisms and the way he does that character is very, very good. It's very underrated.
Yeah, agreed. But Bronson Reed, he did really good in this, and I don't know, I think he deserved to win, probably.
Yeah, he's been in OTT before. He was on one of the Contender shows as Jonah Rock. He had the match that kind of got Terry Thatcher over as a babyface because he just destroyed him, which is a really cool moment. So I think I'd say Terry was watching that with a smile on his face because that was a big moment in his career. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Right winner. Like he's just athletic as fuck for his size. And yeah, no, it was just really fun. I like the way they did something different with it, you know. But Kieran, it's time. Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. Holy mother of fucking God, this hurt just watching it.
There was a lot of chops, as you'd fucking expect at this.
No, but there was a lot of chops. But Ciampa chopped Walter to fuck as well. It was amazing.
Yeah. It was a fantastic match. Probably the best on night one. For me personally, probably the best overall. I think it's, we've seen how WWE and NXT can kind of mess up indie people usually, but Walter has been used so well on NXT and NXT UK. It's insane. I feel like every time he has a match in one of these takeovers, it is this really long half an hour, 40-minute epic. And it just I don't know, there's something really special about his matches and how they're using him and how slowly they're building,
Yeah. Unfortunately, he did come out and say, I don't really want to live in America, which is annoying after a match like this. But let's just have it for what it was.
The thing about that is, I think, as frustrating as it is that we'll probably never get to see him fight at WrestleMania or something like that, I think there's something really cool and special with him every 6 months coming over and having one match on a takeover against some Tommaso Ciampa or some shit,
Yeah,
I think that's really cool, and a new dream match every 6 months or something right here.
Yeah, and let's give credit before I talk about the finish. The very next night, he had a fantastic main event against Rampage Brown on the NXT Prelude. A really, really good main event, a really, really good match. So I would suggest going and watching that. Walter has had a good weekend. But I love the finish. The German suplex and then the chop. That is something I've never seen finish a match before, and I fucking loved it. Because if someone, if you're thinking sense-wise, because we've never experienced it before, but if someone smacks you in the chest, you're the wind is out of your sails. Your breath is completely gone. Like that, it makes perfect sense why a chop should end the match if it's that hard.
Yeah. Well, you've seen. I think everyone's seen Walter's famous picture of chopping someone, and you see their chest cave in.
Yeah. I think he could seriously break a rib if he does if he throw that was impressive, and it was just so much fun. Ciampa is honestly, is the word underrated fair to a Ciampa, because he's very rated, but the impact he's had on NXT has to go down as one of the best of all time in NXT.
I wouldn't call him underrated, and he seems like one of those guys that's destined to retire in NXT, at this stage.
And he wants to, but he brings some sort of legitimacy that I like, and I've grown to like about the wrestling. His selling and his kind of his intensity is just what you want to get invested into a wrestling match.
Yeah.
I can't help but just be happy about the match. It was just fantastic. And listen, this was a tough act to follow, but fair fucking play. MSK versus Grizzly Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma was a fantastic tag title match.
Yeah, it was really, really good, really enjoyable. Nice little character work for all of them. I love Gibson. I say it every week. But MSK, they had a really good performance and probably did deserve to win.
Yeah,
even if they weren't my pick.
Yeah, lovely. We both picked GYV, but I'm very happy because MSK, I've watched the Rascals in person twice, and they're just brilliant. But MSK and Legado del Fantasma are fantastic, and the moves they do are amazing. Your man Wesley from MSK is just some serious athleticism and speed. All of them were fantastic. But the glue that holds this match together, and we continue to say it, I don't know why they haven't pulled the plug on the tag title win, but they will soon. GYV are so good, but it's the things that you don't see that they're good at. Structuring the match, being the foil, keeping the flippy stuff to a minimum, grounding people, the character work. Wade Barrett, I guarantee they had a conversation with Wade Barrett backstage, and Wade Barrett was like, I'm going to go full old English on commentary for this, because that was brilliant, where all the English references and all the kind of old school kind of English wrestling kind of references and references to Liverpool and Manchester and stuff. Fucking brilliant. I love this.
Yeah, really great match. Really good way to keep the energy up in the room.
Yeah, and a genuine show of emotion at the end, which was really cool. Obviously, Nash Carter and Wesley had to leave Trey Miguel, their best friend, behind. He didn't sign for the company. And also, Nash Carter, Zach Wentz's best friend, passed away just before he signed. So this was a really, really emotional moment for them. They had an interview afterwards where they were just so happy and so surprised. Winning the Dusty Classic and the tag titles when your first 4 months of being there, that shows a lot of trust. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was a feel good win. And then what we all expected happened, but I want to get your thoughts on how you think went down, how Raquel Gonzalez looked here, Kieran, because it was the main event for Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez, NXT Women's title. Your new women's champion is Raquel Gonzalez. I'm very happy for her, but this match, from what I remember, was grand, just nothing special.
It had a fantastic spot of like Io Shirai diving off like the skull on the stage, which I thought was really cool, and it's a nice way to go out. But I think the match is really remembered for. I think Io Shirai's title reign as a whole has been a little just like placeholder almost, which sounds really mean to say, but like it's not going to be one it's remembered like especially well.
Listen, we'll give her credit because she's had a lot of very good matches, but the stories just haven't been there as they were. And like a year ago, NXT's women's matches told a really cool story. I hate to bring this up because it's just but she does have a boyfriend who's contracted to New Japan, so you wouldn't really expect her to extend her contract by too much unless he's with. And I don't see Evil coming over to NXT. So obviously, I think she'll be going back to wrestle in Japan soon, which is fair enough. She's had a really good run here, and she's probably lived out her dream, and hopefully, that is in the contract that she can go back. Because Kairi Sane's being held up in an ambassador's role, it just seems quite sad. I know, you get a paycheck, but the fact that Kairi Sane's not allowed to go and wrestle, it's basically like holding her to a contract. But listen, if it's a way to go out, but Raquel Gonzalez, I'm very interested because we've never really had, I think we've discussed before, we've never really had a big powerhouse champion in NXT. Like Rhea Ripley was champion, but this is kind of like the second coming. I know we keep saying that, and it's very hard because it's very hard to live up to these expectations. But it's the closest thing to China that they've ever had. Like she's just a lot bigger, a lot stronger, can do things that a lot of the women can't do. She's not a flippy person, and she's not like gonna do a load of like flippy moves, but she's gonna be great foil and great. All of her NXT women's matches, I'd fully expect to have a great story to them. Because it's going to be that plucky babyface trying to chop her down. Like, imagine if Shotzi Blackheart, like a fired up babyface, goes into like a takeover match against Raquel Gonzalez and trying to like beat her. Like, that would be a cool story.
Yeah, it would be an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fresh ideas that they could do with this. I think that's what they needed, because a lot of the problem with the NXT women's title matches, there was just no stakes, really. Apart from the title, there was just no like kind of title stuff. Like, there's no story.
There's no emotional stakes.
Yeah, emotional stakes, perfectly put. And I think with Gonzalez, you can kind of build them up. If she's good at promos, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I have a feeling maybe Tegan Knox, because of the Dakota Kai connection. If Dakota Kai sticks with her as her mouthpiece, maybe imagine a babyface Tegan Knox coming back after the knee surgery and challenge her for it.
Did she get another knee surgery?
Oh yeah, that's why she's out. She crocked her knee.
Oh my gosh!
Again. Yeah, both knees. Hopefully, if she,
I don't think Unfortunately, I think she's someone who may never get a title shot just because she seems to be injury prone.
Yeah, listen, if she does, it will be a really cool story that she has to go through the Dakota Kai to beat Raquel Gonzalez. I think that would be cool. But that was the end of night one, and we can move on to night two. So Breezango beat.
We did this ring. The next match is Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed.
Yeah. So we've been through like
skip to that.
3 of the matches. You know, ladder match, women's tag match went very well, and then we had Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed. Kieran, I
thought this was underwhelming.
The cartwheel spot was very stupid. Johnny Gargano.
He put over Bronson Reed well, I think. I came out of it being a bit more like, well, he's cool. But I don't know. I didn't like any of the Austin Theory stuff. I don't like that Gargano is still his champion because I think you are right. His matches are getting very tiring. But hey,
man,
he has it for another couple of months.
Man, the cartwheel was so stupid. Apart from Gargano trying to like the facial where he was like looking up on him as if he'd done something, but it was just bad. Like I felt sorry for Bronson Reed because Gargano's just not a good heel, and I don't want to see him with the belt. Yeah, I think Gargano defeated Reed. I'm not gonna. They tried too hard to make everything look huge, and it didn't, and it came off as just doing too much. But yeah, Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. These entrances made this look huge.
They really did. Yeah,
they made this look like a huge deal. I don't know if you've seen it, but Shotzi Blackheart, Scarlett Bordeaux, and their mate were in like a music video. They seem to be doing a lot of good shit outside the ring, as in like they seem to be kind of mainstreaming kind of themselves with like a YouTube music video, and like that's why Scarlett on this thing has like a great like a silver wig on. Like they were doing in the vignette as well. They seem to be doing a lot of good stuff. She's a very good character. I just think she's fantastic. In what she like, I know people are kind of what is this kind of mystical character and how much legs does it have, but I like it. Like it's good. But like the entrances where Balor was walking and then like Kross was walking in like the gray kind of the gray edits on the screen. I'm not very good at like techie talk, but you know, just everything made this look big, and this didn't go on too long. It was a perfect storyline. It was targeting an arm, and it was Balor again showing that you can bring legitimacy to a match when you want to.
Yeah, and it was solid. I don't think it's anyone's like favorite match coming out of these few nights, but like for what it was really good. Would it be the weakest match of Balor's title reign? Or were there anything that was like more that I'm missing?
Yeah, but probably. But I don't know if you get me here, but I think it's kind of the way Kross had to win was always going to make this not the best match. Like it was never going to be a Kyle O'Reilly match, but it was there to show that Karrion Kross is a dominant champion who's going to have the championship for a long time. It wasn't going to be anything special. Plus, Karrion Kross isn't really that style. Like you got to work around. Like Balor just wanted to put Kross over, and Kross just sold enough, just showed that he is kind of susceptible and kind of made Balor look okay. Well, Balor obviously is basically unbreakable unless Vince gets his hands on him and puts a smile on his face. But yeah, the elbow to the back of the neck was the second best elbow to the back of the neck I've seen this week. We'll get on to the first on Mania. But this was just what it needed to be. If Kross was going to win, this is what it needed to be. And he's the champion. I don't see anyone beating him for a long time. I'm not going to lie, the NXT undercard looks pretty weak at the moment. Unless we've already had Ciampa do it. If he come back, could Pete Dunne be a good story? But that'd be heel versus heel. Who knows? But yeah.
Give it to O'Reilly.
Yeah, O'Reilly could move on. Let's get on to O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, Kieran. At points, I really liked this match. But it went on about 20 minutes too long.
Yeah, it was an NXT main event, basically.
40 minutes on the clock. In comparison, The longest match on WrestleMania last night was 18 minutes, and it was Drew versus Bobby.
I think for night one, I had Drew versus Bobby. Really, that was a lot longer than I was expecting. We'll get to that in a minute. And for night one, I was like pleasantly surprised that it was 2 hours. Before obviously remembering that like it was being broadcast on just TV regularly, and then seeing that this was 240, I was a bit like, oh, geez, that's a lot longer. And then realizing once Karrion Kross had won that 40 minutes of that was going to be just this match. It was like, it's a lot.
Listen, let's get into the positives. I really like the entrances. I like Kyle. I just think Kyle's great. Kyle's offense is it just looks legit. Like it just looks like it. Like he's really really good at the style that he does. Like and he sticks to his guns. Like he doesn't like, you know, the way there's some people who like deviate from their style to do like a cool moves. Kyle's whole offense is just the one cool. It's just I really like it. There was a few things. There was a Father Ted edit dubbed over the bit where Adam Cole kicked in the stage and dragged Kyle O'Reilly. It was like shoddy work, Ted, when he was kicking in the bit of submission. Then they got outside and there was like a TV. The chain was a big story in the match, really. There was the chairs. I really, really like the finish to this match, Kieran. But can you pick out anything out of this 45-minute match?
I wasn't too hot on that referee spot.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I think
it was kind of like the heel taking out the ref and then being like, "Oh shit, it's been done before," and it was kind of a bit iffy. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I think it did a good job at selling that these two guys were like, they just wanted to kill each other. Like I did. Cole like tried to like stab O'Reilly in the eye at one point, right?
Yeah,
which is like insane. And obviously, because you know it is WWE, we know it's never going to go too far. But I do think it did a good job at thinking that maybe you will.
Yeah, and what it did do well was O'Reilly's desperation at the end. Top rope, low blow to Adam Cole. Cole sold it brilliant. Wrapping his knee in the chain and hitting that leg drop off the top rope of the chain through a steel chair. Cole out, and I love the way. My microphone fell. Guys, if you haven't seen, my microphone is broken. We're getting a new one soon. But Kyle was like sitting on the stage looking at all like the just a mess, and Cole was getting stretched out, and O'Reilly was like, "What did I just do?" I like that visual. It was cool. It was fun. But yeah, listen, it went along. Like they could have easily done that in 20 minutes, and it would have been amazing. Genuinely, it was very, very. WrestleMania showed that you don't need 40 minutes to put on a good match. John Moxley and Josh Barnett, 11 minutes long, show that you don't need long to put on a good match if you want to. Just a bit too long. But yeah, NXT.
Speaking of WrestleMania, though.
Yeah, WrestleMania. I'd love to talk about the first match, but we have to talk about the start because I was watching the golf, so I didn't watch the pre-show. I turned it on at 1 a.m. Oh my God, it was so funny. I couldn't stop. Honestly, the fact that it got delayed by 40 minutes and some of the stuff that was the unplanned interviews, Kieran, Michael Cole and Samoa Joe in ponchos, the fucking fans getting evacuated. My God, I couldn't help but laugh.
Well, let's go through it in order. Did you watch like the full opening and everything?
Oh yeah, the people on the stage, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just go through it here. So it opens with a genuine for the entire kickoff show, because I watched the kickoff. They didn't show the crowds. They made a specific point. They would show the stage. They would show just above the ring, but they did not show any of the arena for the entire hour, which was so weird to me. And then I realized the point of that was for when they would start the show, that's your first image, seeing all these people in the arena. And yeah, they're probably a bit too close to each other.
Oh,
it feels like there's a lot more than 20,000 here.
There was 25,660 sold out official.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot more than that in there, unless they've entirely cut off like the top
sections. Dude, they were on top of each other.
Yeah, it was crazy. But there was it was really, really great to see fans back in this sort of capacity in WWE. And Vince McMahon's out there with the entire roster and does his little speech, just saying that he's happy that people are back. He says, "Welcome to WrestleMania." And then what's her name? Baby Rexa or something?
Baby Rexa, and I don't know who the guitarist was. I don't know who she was, but like she
cool guitar.
She showed up and showed out. But Kieran,
but she sang "America the Beautiful," and I just noticed that they showed Rhea Ripley, and she was like in tears, and I was like, "Oh, Rhea, I don't know, just shit like that really endears someone to you, you know? I don't know. I thought it was a really nice opening to the whole show. I'm glad that Vince did say something about fans being back, even if it isn't going to be a weekly thing for a little while. But I don't know. I've really, really enjoyed having fans here. It's the first wrestling I've watched. Like, I haven't really caught it stayed up with like AEW too much. NXT is like bits and pieces, but this is the first time I've seen a proper crowd, and it was so much more engaging to watch. Just so much more better. Wrestling needs a big crowd to work, I think, and it really does keep the energy going.
Yeah, my thoughts. Vince heavy on the Botox. My God, that man had a lot of plastic surgery. I would have thought if there was a lightning bolt ever going to hit, it would have been fucking hilarious if it hit Shane during the national anthem.
You couldn't even tell, probably. He'd be the exact same.
Could you imagine Shane just got hit with a like big?
He had a steel cage up there, man. That could have been hit. Fuck.
Shane was so sweaty in his pre-match interview already. I was like, oh no, if it rains, he's in trouble. The crowd really helped. I don't know if there was pumped in crowd noise, but the crowd was hot.
Oh, there was. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, the crowd was the crowd just seemed hot. Listen, I was excited. Samoa Joe and a poncho was just a sad fall from grace through no fault of his own. Through no fault of his own.
Like a fucking they cut away from America the Beautiful. They have their package, which was just a repeat of last year's package with a few small edits, which I thought was so weirdly lazy. WWE wouldn't really do that generally speaking.
But Byron Saxton's suit. And like Byron Saxton just made me remember the Mania call that he had with Daniel Bryan that keeps coming up on Twitter. That was with Kofi Kingston. That was amazing. Yeah. And I want to give credit to Michael Cole because he gave us a similar moment at the end there. And I want to give credit. I want to give credit to Michael Cole, but we'll do that later. But the start of the show was wild.
They come back from the video package, and it's just Michael Cole saying to the camera like, "There's been a weather delay. We're gonna have to stop WrestleMania," and you just see behind him all the fans being pushed out of the seats because they're in genuine danger. It was a severe weather warning. And then 30-40 minutes of like improv promos that admittedly were good.
Kevin Owens did well. Kevin Owens did very well.
Like and Seth Rollins' one was better than his scripted shit. And it makes you wonder why the fuck you are giving these guys such scripted promos when they're legitimately talented, and can really hold their own. And they did it for so long as well. It was so weird. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fantastic. Like it was really cool to see fans. I really enjoyed the show. I was very, very drunk and possibly high, but I really, really enjoyed. I just enjoyed the show. It really exceeded expectations. Maybe we should have low expectation more often. But the show opened. It was announced earlier in the day that Sasha and Bianca would main event. Fantastic news.
Wait, Rain. Before we get to a match, there was one other thing that I think is worth noting. Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan came out, but every time Hulk Hogan spoke, he got fucking booed really badly, so much that they piped in cheering.
Man, and rightly, Titus didn't look. Titus put his heart and soul into the promo, but he just didn't look happy.
He knows exactly why he's been chosen to be the host beside Hogan. And he doesn't look happy about it. Like, he's doing his job, he's doing it well. But I don't know. I feel like when that announcement was made of who it was, everyone's reaction was just, oh well. Of course, they put Hogan with a black man to make him look okay, and it looks like Titus is fully aware of that fact.
If you're gonna low key because Hulk Hogan was meant to host Mania in Tampa, but it didn't happen. So then they brought him in for this one, and Titus was meant to host, and obviously got the Warrior Award, which is amazing. But if you're going to if they're going to low key bring Hogan back in, having him get his own entrance for the NWO Hall of Fame thing as well on stage was just. We'll go on to the NWO in a bit. They look fucking disheveled. Jesus. The fact that X-Pac looked like the youngest of the four and was limping quite heavily and was in a sling, and he had a knee reconstruction a couple of months ago. But yeah,
no, it was all right.
Listen, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, hella fun.
Yes,
hella fun, man.
So much better than I thought it would be. I thought this was going to be a 2-minute squash Brock Lesnar style where Drew would just win. but it was a really good match. How long was it? You said it was the longest match, right?
18 minutes and 20 something seconds, I think.
Yeah, it
but
flew by.
I really loved Drew McIntyre's kind of MMA kind of like thing where he was trying to get Lashley in a Kimura lock. He was trying to get Lashley in all these locks. One of the funniest moments that I've seen on Twitter subsequently, Kieran, is when Drew went over the top rope for the Torpe Suicida. His penis hits the top rope.
Does it? Oh my god!
It's fucking brilliant. It's
wow.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious when you watch it so much. Someone just goes the Glasgow kiss. I just lost it.
Very
it
good.
was, but no, like in all seriousness, McIntyre.
In all seriousness,
we've said this so many times. A lot of people are kind of blinded by it, but McIntyre got given a terrible hand. And he
was fucked over.
And he did the best he could. And this is a nice ending to it. It keeps him strong. Maybe he'll feud with someone big going forward. Maybe a big.
Well, there'll probably be a draft coming up, I imagine. So.
Yeah, or something like that.
Look, I'm glad he didn't win. I really am. I couldn't have done with another main event picture on Raw with McIntyre at the top.
And
as much as he is good, it's been an entire year, you know.
And it made Lashley look amazing. Clean win.
Yes, it did.
Referee stoppage, hurt lock. Drew didn't pass out. That's his way out. That's his way out of not getting back into a match with Bobby Lashley, but just continuing and being strong. Maybe a heel turn might help. Who knows? But Bobby Lashley looked amazing. I have a feeling it's got to be leading to Lesnar. I'm still convinced Vince wants to do that and has that as the money match. I'm convinced.
I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it now a lot more than when he first came back. Because he has been... People are behind him now, I think, you know?
Yeah, but Kieran, think about it now. If Brock doesn't use Heyman, let's say he doesn't use Heyman, and they build this like a UFC fight. Don't have them do promos. Just have Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar announced. Like a UFC fight. Have them do one press conference. Bring in someone from like ESPN. Bring in someone to moderate a press conference. Do a weigh-in the day before SummerSlam and have them in a match. Have them in the fight pit. Do something different. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Built like a UFC fight. Doesn't need Heyman cutting promos for Lesnar. Just built because you don't... And then just have MVP there who looks class. And I'm so happy for MVP that he got his moment on the big stage. I think Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley in just an MMA style build with a wrestling match will be fantastic.
Yeah, I could get behind that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, this was really, really cool. There was a lot of cool moments. And the rain fell for the bit at the start of it. You could see with Drew's there was a lot of rain falling off Drew's back and on his hair. But yeah, we go from a very good match to a match that, honestly, Kieran, the only thing that I remember from this is Mandy Rose slipping on the stage.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she did. How fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
That would suck. Oh,
it was a reverse Michael Jackson when someone took a photo and she was like halfway down. She was like halfway from falling, and it looked like the fall forward. I felt really sorry for her, but Kieran, man, Carmella and Billie Kay was cool. Carmella's back to her old gimmick after losing losing her guy. There was some good wrestling in this, but man, I found it hard to get invested in this whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't know. It happened. It was fine. It wasn't a bad match per se, but it wasn't a good one.
This match tonight as well. Poor Shayna Baszler. Natalya and Tamina win. So we have Natalya, Tamina, and Nia Jackson the same match tonight.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
You said that with all the fucking happiness of Jesus Christ, man.
Can't be happy.
Oh, man. That was just... no.
How bad can it be? How bad can it be?
Very bad. I'm going to go for a piss or get a beer when that's going on. But let's get on to one of my favourite moments. Man, we have asked for years. Anytime someone asks on the Stone Cold podcast or anywhere who's the most underrated wrestler in the world, who has the most career, who is the pound per pound best in the world, they say Cesaro. And last night, he finally got his fucking moment, and I was nearly in tears. That was a fucking beautiful match.
Incredible. Probably, yeah, I'm going to say it's the best match of the night. It was really great. Really good. Talk about fucking grabbing the brass ring or whatever. Fantastic match.
Dude, I want to talk about a few spots. Okay, the first bits of the match were good. the Falcon Arrow, the near fall, the pedigree, the kicking out of the neutralizer. The fucking curb stomp into the uppercut was fucking amazing. that was out of like that, like that was up there with the RKO counter for me. Like genuinely.
Really?
Wow. Oh man, the fact that just before it set on to this new move where he like jumps back and does like a heel kick, but Kieran, I'm guaranteed you popped for that. The fucking curb,
fucking course they did.
Curb stomp, and then it was like, oh shit, uppercut was amazing, and then Antonio Castagnoli, Cesaro's Ring of Honor gimmick. You've probably never really seen this move before, Kieran,
no,
but the UFO was fucking unreal.
It was really good, really cool.
Oh my! When he put his hands on his hips, was amazing. It was so good, and the crowd. I could hear the real crowd through the piped-in crowd here. They were hot for this. They loved Cesaro. This was Cesaro swung him around just 23 times, neutralizer. Rollins sold like a motherfucker. Cesaro won, and then the emotion just hit him after the bell.
To be fair to Rollins, he was busting out some new moves, or at least ones that I haven't seen or didn't recognize from his moveset. Like,
I have a feeling that twisting splash was meant to be a corkscrew, and he kind of missed his foot and then kind of adjusted. I don't think
he made it look good.
He did make it look good. He made it look very good, and he made Cesaro look amazing. But Cesaro's emotion afterwards was just amazing. Everything about this match was perfect. This is what I hope Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should be the match of the night tonight, and I really hope it lives up to that. But this and that match were my two most looking forward to matches. And this one delivered, and I'm so happy for Cesaro. But Kieran, which bum is going to beat him on Friday night in 5 minutes?
Baron Corbin, probably. Corbin, maybe.
Baron Corbin beats Cesaro in 5 minutes on Friday. Listen, I'm joking. I really hope that Cesaro is the first, after Backlash, when they do all them rematch bullshit, I really hope Cesaro is the first title challenger.
Yeah, I think he will be.
I don't care. Just have him. I don't know. I don't care if he doesn't win. Maybe have him win Money in the Bank. I don't think it might not suit him. I really hope they do something with Cesaro, because that was just beautiful. That was a WrestleMania moment, man. And then another surprise: New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I love the build.
He's so tall. He is so fucking tall. That guy. He's like 7'3", isn't he?
And
crazy.
And you can't teach that.
You cannot teach that at all.
You can't teach being tall. I've never. If being tall was a subject in skill, Kieran, I would have fucking taken it, no problem. I would have done okay. But yeah, Big E introducing Xavier and Kofi was cool. AJ had a camel toe. AJ's gear just looked the crotch area and just looked like he had a fucking camel toe.
Fair enough, dog.
AJ is known for his gear ripping in the worst ways. But yeah, almost usual attire, which is cool. And the build up to almost getting in the ring was really good. Kingston, Woods, and Styles are three amazing wrestlers who know each other inside and out. It was fantastic. Wood, when almost tagged in, Kieran, talk to me about Xavier Woods' reaction, because Xavier Woods sold this like there was a fucking monster coming to kill him.
Because there fucking was. I'd be terrified. He's like genuinely double the fucking height of Woods, for fuck's sake. And he did sell it really well. They both did. It just kind of became an exhibition match at that stage. I think you even predicted one of the spots. AJ Styles jumping off his shoulders and doing the forearm.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't watch this back yet. I think I went to the bathroom in the middle of it and came back, and they were in the almost in the ring. Holy shit! I predicted it. Nice. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
There you go. Well done.
I like being right. My bet in the golf is winning me money too. So it's been a good weekend for the predictions for me. I'm 8-7 up in this as well. You know. But yeah, just really, really good. A lot better than I expected. And they won the titles. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. I hope the New Day. I know it's very hard to book non-title tag matches, but I really hope the New Day kind of do something else for a while. Get a new tag team in it. I don't know who. I think I'm happy for it. Like Styles has been Like, he hasn't had his full WrestleMania moment, but he always puts in a good shift no matter what kind of match he's in at Mania. And yeah, no, it was thoroughly enjoyable, Kieran. It's probably a kind of a theme for this night.
Yes.
All right, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. We've said what we wanted to say about this match. The build was distasteful, considering all the charities that they're a part of with the anti-bullying stuff. Just shouldn't have happened. It's not really.
It's a stupid build, and the promo package even made it look stupid. They couldn't save it.
Yeah, there's definitely kids watching with disabilities like that night. Like, there was definitely kids, probably on the American side, like kids on the European side probably would have watched it today. But there was kids that had definitely been bullied or definitely been. And the fact that WWE probably think that they were doing this to show that, oh, the bully can be beaten, it just looked the complete opposite. It had the opposite effect. As far as the match goes, the only thing I can say is the ripping the cage open was a really cool way of getting someone back in the ring. That was
awesome. Fucking he tears it off as well. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Great spot.
Yeah, because Kieran, what I thought was going to happen, and you know that thing I hate. One of my most hated spots in the world is when there's like someone has climbed over the cage and someone just grabs their head and like you can see that they're like climbing back into the cage.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking stupid. Just drop. But this is a really cool way of doing it. Shane sold it really well. Shane obviously wanted to take all the big spots. If he wasn't going to fall off the pirate ship, because Kevin Owens hopefully is doing that tonight, weather permitting, he had to kind of do a big spot off the top of the cage, and he did. And Strowman then got back in and power slammed and won. The bully has been defeated. And I hope this goes and dies and Shane just goes away and doesn't come back until Mania again next year when he's another year older and another chance to prove his dad that he's worthy member of the McMahon family. Yeah, because Shane walking backstage. How was that? You've jumped off higher. That's not impressive. But yeah, listen, you know, it is what it is. Don't know why there was toolboxes at the top of the cage. Really, that's just, don't know why there was buckets with toolboxes in them. But, you know, each to their own. And Kieran, if we didn't think Bad Bunny was a big enough star, or like a big star to us, holy mother of fuck, he's huge.
Did he hit a fucking Spanish fly during this, or was it something else? He hit one of like the Young Bucks moves.
He hit a Canadian destroyer.
That's it, yeah. But like really good one as well.
Yeah, but that's usually the guy taking the move that like sell that. But listen, we'll get on to Bad Bunny's wrestling in a minute, Kieran. But he, apart from Damian Priest stealing Shawn Michaels' clothes, the package for Bad Bunny, the Miz Morrison can get fucked. That was just, I don't like the bunnies coming out. Oh my god, Kieran. Can you imagine? I was reasonably fucked and a load of bunnies hopped out of the... You can imagine my look on my face when the bunnies came out.
Yeah, Bob.
Oh, bad. It was bad. Because it kept like blending the music video from Raw and the live feed and then the feed that Morrison and Miz were looking at on Raw. So there was like 3 different music videos going on. But Bad Bunny, 8.7 billion streams on Spotify. Platinum selling record. He came in, he got the Triple H entrance. He came in on a monster truck, or like a big fucking truck. It was so cool.
Mm.
It was.
He got like probably the best entrance of the whole fucking show somehow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, the stage for this, the giant fucking pirate ship, really cool.
Do you know
like shooting the cannons?
Do you know that was a built pirate ship, but they actually have an actual pirate ship in their stadium. Like there's a different
I heard that.
Like a real pirate ship.
That's crazy.
I don't know if they're going to go out to that. Probably not. But I think they're going to use the fake one tonight with the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I would predict. But yeah, no, they splashed out pyro for the show. And then when Bad Bunny got in the ring, very, very, very good. Drew Gulak and Adam Pearce trained him in the PC. Fair play to you. Because you've trained him into a very, very good wrestler. And although Pat McAfee was very, very good in terms of wrestling, Bad Bunny has won that one for me.
Fuck yeah. I'd say so. I'd agree with that. I don't know. It was a really, really impressive showing.
And say what you want.
I don't know. There's something so cool about like these celebrities coming into WWE who have relatively no experience and then just end up doing really well. And it's happening more often, and I really like that because it is kind of making you turn around on that whole like, oh, we hate seeing celebrities involved in this or whatever, because it turns out they can actually be really fucking good. And I wouldn't be too shocked if he comes back again.
There was 2 moments in this match where I was like, that's a good wrestler. The way he sold the DDT was fantastic. And the Falcon Arrow, to hit a Falcon Arrow in your first match and a Canadian Destroyer. And then he jumped off the top rope and smacked his head on the ground. I was like, oh no, let's hope he's okay. We say what we want to with Miz and Morrison. We'll give them all the hassle. But they made him look great. They did fun. Miz is he's a good wrestler. Listen, he's a good wrestler. And he was very, very good foil. I think Damian Priest has a future. Personally, I think Damian Priest is extremely good. But yeah, this was all about Bad Bunny, and rightly so. The crossbody he won with a crossbody after a double team move. Really, really enjoyable. Palate cleansing before the main event after Shane and Braun. I really, really loved it. Hopefully, Bad Bunny cuts a promo tonight, like when there's backstage skits or something, or like something like to keep him in people's minds. But yeah, really, 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 really good. Really, really good.
And then main event time.
Oh man, man.
She was Bianca Belair was on the verge of tears before the match had even started.
Yeah, when she came out, Sasha Banks looked fucking amazing. She looked like
cool hair.
The hair just reminded me, Kieran, those 60-cent chomp, no, not chomp, like zinger things that you get in like Spar. Those really, the hair just looked like one of those, and like the toffee bit is just like kind of the colors are interwoven. It looked really, really cool. She looked like a star. They were both on the verge of tears. And then the moment we noticed that this match was just like holy shit, Banks dives to the outside. Belair rolls through, picks her up off the ground, overhead presses her, and jumps up onto the steel steps. Kieran,
it was fucking cool. The strength that she fucking has to do that, it's insane. She's really good. It was a really good showing. Massive stage, and it kind of, the past few weeks we've been saying that the actual storyline hasn't been good, but the match really went above and beyond it.
Yeah, so Sasha just made her look amazing. Banks countered a 450. Like Belair took it straight in the ribs. Like Belair, like she was selling the back to kind of set her up for the Banks statement. The hair was being used as like Banks was trying to like choke her with the hair, and she was trying to get away with it. Belair, then Sasha, the moment when the match just went into unreal, like just amazing mode, was Belair was crocked up on the outside. Sasha went for a Meteora and missed. Belair finally hit the 450. Belair selling the kick out of Banks, Kieran, was like where she was just basically crying. Banks grabbed the hair, and holy mother of fucking God, that hair whip.
I don't know if you saw like the actual like massive scar almost on Sasha in the post match.
Oh no, it wasn't almost a scar. It was immediately a cut. The whip, it sounded like a gunshot. It was just crash. And Sasha just sold it brilliantly. The KOD. And Michael Cole, for all the hassle he gets, and I don't know if this was a mistake, but him going, Sasha kicked out, no, she didn't, was amazing. The kind of shock of like, I don't know if it was a mistake, but the way he screamed, like, Sasha kicked out, and Corey Garza's like, no, she didn't. Bianca Belair has actually won. The shock of Bianca Belair winning. Her family nearly falling over the barricade. Her going mental. I wish they could have. I know the show was delayed, but I wish they could have elongated this celebration out afterwards. Montez Ford came out afterwards and like raised her above his head. I really hope they got that on like a post-match exclusive.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But Kieran, this finish was just so wholesome, so fucking brutal, and made her Bianca Belair. We talk about WWE not making stars. They just made a star.
Exactly, and that's it. And it's, it's amazing to see. And it's the shit like that why WrestleMania is such an event that it is, I
don't think we will ever understand. And rightly so. We have no idea whatsoever. But the magnitude of having a black woman in the main event of WrestleMania and winning is huge.
2 black women, man.
Yeah, 2 black women.
Insane.
It's we will never understand it because we live in a we don't live in them. It's bad in Ireland, but in America, obviously, especially with this past year, and to have Bianca Belair win that, and the fact that she makes her own gear, her family just looks so wholesome. Montez,
He was there ringside. Her dad almost fucking jumped the barricade because he was so excited when she won. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and she was so emotional. There was nothing bad about this. This was a beautiful moment. This was a beautiful moment.
Great way to end the show. I hope night 2 was as good,
Yeah, so if you guys are listening to this right now, hopefully it'll be out around just before 5 o'clock, and you're looking for, and you haven't watched Mania, and you're looking for three, or you don't want to watch the whole show, Cesaro Rollins, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and Omos and AJ Styles versus the New Day. Probably.
You'd put that up there. I would have put either Bobby Lashley and Drew or fucking the Bad Bunny match up there, just because I really enjoyed the Bad Bunny match.
Actually, to be honest, like when you look at it, apart from the women's tag, I'd watch it all again. To be honest,
yeah, that's it. It was a really, really solid show. It really was.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. I'll settle on it. I think night 2 has a lot to live up to, Kieran. We've got the triple threat. Yeah. We got triple threat. We got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. We have Big E versus Apollo in an African drum fight, which is just, I have no idea what the fuck's going to go on there. What else do we have? We have Asuka versus
Edge, Roman, and Bryan.
Yeah, we've Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. I just hope that if Daniel Bryan goes full Bryan Danielson ROH mode, like he teased on SmackDown with the kind of ramming Edge into the ring post, I think we could be in for. And Kieran, straight after Mania, I don't know if you noticed, but the Edge Chronicle came on, and I watched it, and it was really, it was like finished recording up until 2 days ago, and it was another really good Edge documentary. I fear if Edge wins for the reaction, I don't think he should win, personally.
I think he's Edge. He's over enough that it won't matter. I think he's safe no matter what, He's not in like a fragile position, even if he is against 2 of the most beloved acts in WWE right now.
Yeah, and Kieran, I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is very bold. I was discussing this with people last night. But Bayley has been... Bayley did a few good cameos there last night with the kind of Hall of Fame.
She did.
What if, because she's been teasing it on social media, this person, what if Bayley comes out and does ding dong hello and starts like saying that she doesn't have a match and this is bullshit and all that, and Becky Lynch comes out? Could you imagine?
That would be incredible. I would adore that. Crowds are here, so it would be a great moment. We don't know when we're going to get crowds back again fully. I want to believe it, but I'm not going to hope for it.
If it's going to happen, it will happen there.
Yeah, that's fair. When did her father die? Because she might still be grieving.
I don't know, but did you not see the post she's been putting up? Like
if she's putting a post, then it's not happening. She's such a teasy person.
No, but she was doing like night 1 and then night 2, and she was kind of half joking. But I have a feeling that might happen. But the Charlotte Flair, I still, up until that bell rings, I would still believe that Charlotte Flair might get added to that women's match.
Like Asuka one?
Yeah, someone's taking the pin there.
Oh, fucking no.
Man, it's Vince.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, there's so much stuff that can happen. I would be a really happy man if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go out there and Vince just goes, "You guys have been best friends for a long time. You guys take this one," and just have a fantastic, unbelievable match. Maybe a little bit of Logan Paul interference just for a bit of crack. Kevin Owens jumps off the pirate ship. I'll be a happy man for the rest of the night. I really hope that match. That's the one match that I'm really hoping doesn't flop, which it won't. But yeah, no, I'm my expectations are still, because I really enjoyed it with tempered expectations last night. So I'm going to try and manufacture some reasonable tempered expectations so I enjoy tonight. And yeah, listen, happy. I think this is one of the most upbeat podcasts because it's at a good hour, and we watch some good wrestling. But do we want to do? Our night 2 review will be out on Tuesday, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I've got to get going. Like so.
I've got to get going as well. So I don't have any recommendations whatsoever. But this has been your WrestleMania review show. So if you're listening to a podcast before you sit in for tonight and watch Mania, enjoy it. And Kieran, I think it's time to take it home on this beautiful Sunday evening.
Yeah, well, I've been your host, Kieran Brennan. With me, as always, my co-host.
The man that genetics forgot, Rian.
And as we say at the end of every episode of the Hall Wrestling Podcast, enjoy WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania Sunday.